Hi there, I'm Stephanie Shanti from the Shanti Centre Training School, and this is a fairly short chair yoga sequence that I've put together. So this would be really nice if you want to really stretch your legs out, but maybe you don't have the capacity to stand at the moment. Maybe you're just very tired out. Maybe you've got some knee problems, or you're rehabilitating. Maybe you're just at work and you're unable to find a place to do yoga and you just want a little stretch out. So I've got a normal chair here. This is the setup, a normal chair, and I've got blocks on all of the sides just because I'm a little bit short. And when I sit down, I want to have my feet lifted up so that my knees are more or less in line with my hips. It's also nice to have something to press into. So these blocks provide a really, really nice kind of anchor for my feet. So I'm going to be sitting, not leaning into the chair, but rather sitting at the front of the chair, so that the buttocks are quite on the edge of the front of the chair and my feet and hips are kind of square, so the feet are under the knees and the knees are aligned with the hips, and I can feel the sitting bones pressing down, so I'm kind of moving the flesh of the buttocks out a little bit so I can really feel the sensation of the sitting bones pressing into the chair. And I'm just going to have my hands gently in my lap. You might want them on the knees. You can even take chin mudra, whatever's comfortable for you. And just roll the shoulders back and just gently close the eyes. So we're going to fit this yoga sequence in with the flow of the breath. So let's bring some awareness to the flow of the breath now. With your eyes gently closed, you'll just start to notice the in-breath and notice the out-breath. You're just drawing your awareness onto the breath. And if you can breathe through the nose with the mouth closed. If you're comfortable to stay with your eyes closed, then that'll help you take your awareness inside and really watch the breath, not get distracted by anything else. And you can just allow the breath to gently and gradually deepen, so the breath is gradually becoming deeper as you breathe in and gradually becoming deeper as you breathe out. So just longer, fuller, deeper breaths with all awareness at the point in which you're inhaling, the point at which you feel the breath and it's full, and at the point at which the in-breath transforms into the out-breath and the out-breath moves slowly out. And there may be a pause between the out-breath and the next in-breath, and then noticing the breath as it comes back in. And just keeping the focus on the breath for a while, and just noticing the expansion, the full expansion of the lungs and the rib cage as you breathe in. So the rib cage expands like a balloon in 3D. And you can just notice as you sit here and breathe at your own pace, but just aiming to lengthen the breath as much as you can. Just noticing the expansion from side to side as you breathe in, side to side. So you may notice your side ribs moving towards your upper arms. So you breathe in, and then that gentle relaxation, passive recoil as you exhale. So side to side awareness of the breath. It's almost like the lungs are pushing the side ribs apart. And then bring the awareness onto the front and back expansion of the lungs. So as you breathe in, you feel your heart space, the space at the breastbone moving forward, but also the space between the shoulder blades at the back, expanding and moving away from you. So front to back awareness of the breath, and expansion front to back as you breathe in, and then this gentle passive recoil as you breathe out. It may help you to just restrict the flow of breath in the throat a little bit by just blocking it, making the sound but with the mouth closed. And this will enable you to really focus and concentrate and to lengthen the breath that bit more. So we've had side to side, front to back, and now you can bring your awareness on the top to bottom expansion of the breath as you breathe in, top to bottom expansion. So you feel the collarbones sort of smile open, they lift and separate and the diaphragm underneath the ribcage flattening down. And then as you breathe out, this gentle passive recall back to the centre. Just taking a few breaths, a few moments to connect with the top to bottom expansion and contraction of the lungs and ribcage with the breath. And there's no rush. It's nice to start a yoga practice with some breathing, because then you can actually do more with less time, because you're really doing focused movements. And it's nice to slow the mind down, switch it from thinking and doing to just feeling and being in the moment. The magic of yoga, that less is more. We do more accurate work with the breath, nourishing the muscles as we go. We've had a little bit of side to side, up and down, front to back, and let's see if we can just spend like maybe 5 deep breaths, considering all of those, awareness on all directions of the rib cage and lung expansion. So 3 deep breathing now. As you breathe in, feeling the expansion, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. And as you breathe out, slowly allowing that expansion to recoil back. And then maybe you can count to 4 really deep, long counts as you breathe in. And maybe extending it all the way to 8 as you breathe out. So really slowly bringing that passive recoil back. And maybe 3 more like this. Inhaling, 3D expansion of the rib cage and lungs. Breathing out, slowly, 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 returning the lungs to contraction. And then 1 more deep breath at your own pace. And then still with your eyes closed, still with your awareness on your breath, you're going to take a lovely deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just gently drop your chin down towards your chest. And just let the head hang here as you concentrate your awareness on the back of the neck. And just breathe in. Every time you breathe out, just imagine all the tension in the head, neck and shoulders just melting away. You can make your shoulders stay back and down so they're really relaxed. And keep your chest lifting towards your chin, so you're not collapsing the whole upper spine. You're just giving the back of the neck a nice gentle stretch. And every exhalation is a release and a letting go, releasing all the weight of the head. Releasing tension in the shoulders. And then the next time you inhale, just carefully bring the head back to center. And as you exhale, just drop your ear towards your shoulder, keeping both shoulders relaxed and back and down. Keeping the spine nice and straight. And a few breaths, just letting the head hang, letting everything go, not lifting up the shoulder to meet the ear. Remember, less is more, and you just hang, you let gravity do its job. And you breathe into the space that you're making here between the ear and the shoulder. And the next time you breathe in, just carefully center the head. And then breathing out, you can let your head drop to the other side. Bring the ear towards the shoulder. Doesn't matter how far it goes down. It really doesn't matter. All awareness is in the long side of the neck, between the ear and the shoulder. And every exhalation is long, enabling full release of the head, neck and shoulders. Shoulders rolling back and down, spine nice and straight. Sitting bones pressing into the chair. And then gently centering the head the next time you inhale. And exhaling, just drop the chin down to the chest 1 more time. And just let that go. Keep the chest moving towards the chin and the shoulders rolling back and down. And a deep breath. And releasing all tension in the back of the head, the neck and the shoulders. Inhaling, centering the head. Exhaling, bringing the hands onto the shoulders. Breathing in, elbows together and up. And you can pause at the top of the in-breath, holding the breath as you open the elbows back and shoulder blades squeeze together. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows back and down and drop the head. And then inhale, drawing the elbows together and up. And then at the top of the breath, just hold the breath and start to open the front of the chest, squeezing the shoulders back, taking the elbows back, and then exhaling, elbows still moving back as they draw down. One more time like this, inhaling together and up. Hold the breath and get wide in the chest, squeezing the back, exhaling back and down. And then we'll go the other way. So inhaling, taking the elbows back and up. Then hold the breath as the elbows reach the top, drop the head back and draw the elbows towards each other. Then exhale, elbows, shoulders and head drop down. Inhaling, back and up. Exhaling together and down. Last one, inhale, back and up. Exhale together and down. And then bring the hands back onto the thighs, palms open, turned up, center the head, just close the eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Just feel the opening of the chest from doing those easy stretches. Now you're going to bring your left hand to the outside of your right thigh and just take your right hand to the chair behind you. And just gently pressing the left sitting bone down into the floor so you're not twisting at the hips. You're just going to gently bring the rib cage towards the right side a little bit. Just look right and just keep drawing the shoulders back and down as you feel the rib cage, the whole rib cage moving towards the right. Breathe as deeply as you can. You can feel the breath pushing into the rib cage, pushing into those intercostal muscles. And then center, bring the hands on their own thighs and then go over to the left. So right hand comes on the outside of the left thigh, left hand comes behind you. And the right sitting bone digs in so that the pelvis is stable. And we just draw the rib cage around to the left, looking left, drawing both shoulders back and down. Breathing into the rib cage, pressing into the rib cage. And then gently coming back to center, each hand on their own thigh, and a deep breath here. And every time you breathe in between, just notice the space you've opened up. And then we're going to do a little side stretch. It's very important that we don't fall off the chair. So hold onto the chair with the right hand, press down into the chair with the left sitting bone, stretch the left arm up, and just stretch over a little bit. But again, don't tip off the chair, keep pressing that left sitting bone down and reaching the armpit away from the hip. And keep the neck nice and soft and just lengthen that side a little bit. You can go down deeper if you want to, but it's really a lengthening rather than a shortening. And then come back and let's do the other side. So holding on tight, pressing down with the right thigh, lifting up. Making space between the hip and the armpit, hip pressing down, armpit lifting up. And then you might make that stronger without falling off your chair, without hopefully lifting that right hip up. You can press into the floor with your feet as well, that might help. Keeping the head nice and level. Stretching up and bringing the hand back down. And then shrugging the shoulders, just breathing into that. And then we'll do some cat and cow stretching. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this. You can stay at the front. So basically, we're going to breathe in and just tilt the pelvis forward, stretching the tailbone back behind you. Take the hands back, so you're squeezing elbows and shoulder blades back, and lift the head, and that's your inhale. And as you exhale, slide the hands to the knees, tuck the tailbone under, pubic bone towards the belly, chin to the chest, you're making a C shape. Inhale, slide the hands back, press the belly forward, take the head back, and exhale, curling into a C shape. Inhaling, pressing tailbone and head back, belly and ribs forward. Exhale, curling back. You can even hang back a little bit, holding onto your knees. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then sitting up straight, rolling the shoulders back and down. Again, taking a breath and feeling the space you've made. Good. Okay, so I'm just going to come back to face you and we'll start moving the toes. So if you want to, you can hold underneath your thigh, and we're just going to start by scrunching the toes and then stretching them out. Scrunching them and stretching them out. If you're feeling quite fit and healthy, you can have your hands on your hips and the knee just lifted. Scrunching as you inhale and stretching as you exhale. Scrunch, stretch. It's just the toes. Good. And then again, holding on if you want to, rolling the ankle. And you can take 3 rolls in each direction and maybe coordinate the breath somehow so that your focus is really on the breath and the awareness of the whole circle of the ankle going round and round. And then just having a hand over the knee and just seeing if you can make a circle, gentle circles, not twisting too much, especially if you've had any knee surgery. But it's like you're holding your kneecap in place and allowing the foot, like a pendulum, to make circles, one direction and then the other. And if you haven't been holding onto your leg, you can feel that muscle really working hard now. And then stretch out the leg in front of you, flex the foot, so pull the toes back, and then hug the knee in. So this is an exhale here. And then inhale, stretching the foot. Exhale, pulling it back. You can see my dirty feet now. Inhale, stretching it forward. Exhale, pulling it back. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then placing the foot back onto the block, and we will breathe in and take the foot open and breathe out, close. Just a little thing for the hips, in and out, in and out. Good. And then just take up your position again, make sure you're nice and straight. We'll do the other side. So first of all, we're scrunching up the toes and then flaring the toes out. Squeeze on the inhale, stretch on the exhale, squeeze, stretch. You can always hold under here, squeeze, stretch, and then rolling the ankle in one direction. Coordinate it with your breath, or at least breathe deeply with all awareness as you move the foot. Come back to your breath whenever you can. This is yoga. This just kind of connects you to the present moment. So you're not just doing exercise, you're not moving your muscle without nourishing it with the breath. Just remembering that every inhalation is just really helping to transport more oxygen to the muscles, the belly of the muscles, and to the joints, which really need it. Now every deep exhalation is really switching your parasympathetic nervous system on, enabling you to really let go and relax and move from the fight or flight into rest and restore. Which often, if we have problems with our body, we're in shock anyway because we're worrying about whether we'll ever be able to be the same as we were, whether we'll be able to take back our health. So we're often in fight or flight mode anyway. So that's where yoga and the deep, long exhalation comes along. Pendulum swinging, and then we did the squeeze as you exhale and the stretch as you inhale. Squeeze, exhale, stretch, inhale, squeeze, stretch. Good, feeling the muscles warm up. And then just to open up the hip, just open up and close. You can do a little bit of buttock walking as well, so you're really moving the pelvis, getting it loose. Good. And then just a deep breath here, just to release that. And then we're going to do some nice lunging now. So we're going to sit to the side of the chair. I'm also going to take this bigger block and have it ready in between the two blocks. So we'll just start with a nice lunge. At the moment, I'm sitting with both sitting bones on the chair, but I'm going to now just bring the right sitting bone on the chair so that the corner of the chair is in between my thighs. I'm going to hold on tightly with my right hand to this chair, and I'm going to take that left foot back. And I'm going to press the toes into the floor. I'm not going to straighten the leg. I'm going to keep the leg quite a little bit bent, and I'm going to tuck the tailbone down towards the chair and draw the lower belly in. So I can really feel a very strong stretch in the front of the thigh. I'm also going to press my front foot, my right foot, deeply down into the block. And I'm going to kind of press down and forward with the right foot and down and back with the left foot. So I'm really making space energetically in between my feet. And drawing the belly in, I can really feel a strong stretch in the front thigh. And here, you can take the arms up if you feel stable enough, or you might want to carry on holding onto the chair. This is a very intense stretch for anyone. Drop the shoulders, and then you can hold onto the chair with the right hand, and maybe have a side stretch towards the back of the room. Keep the neck nice and loose. You're just really extending all the side body as well as taking the leg back. And this is intense. Stretching up and then bringing the hand back. Now holding onto the chair, you're just going to relax and let the knee drop. Come onto the toes and just slowly bring the foot back. And then both buttocks sit nicely on the chair. Both feet on the block. And then we're just going to take the left hand onto the chair and the right hand behind us, and pressing the feet into the floor, we're going to just have a twist towards the back of the room. This is another lovely twist. You can hold onto the back of the chair, but try not to yank too much, or you might yank the shoulder blade back. You're just going to try and encourage the rib cage to move towards the wall. And it helps to draw the belly in at this point and to press firmly into the block with the feet. And then coming back. And we're going to open up now. Right foot's on that block. Left foot is on the block in front of you, and you've got the corner of the chair in between. Now you're going to take the sitting bones back, and you're going to start with your hands on your knees, and you're going to really press your feet into the blocks. You're going to very, very slowly come down. Now, I don't know how far you'll come down. It depends on your body. So you may want to stop. You can use your hands to kind of as a volume switch to say how much you want. But keep the feet, the whole bottom of the foot pressing, so soles and the balls of the feet pressing. And you may get to a stage where you can take hold of the tallest edge of the block. You want to roll the shoulders back and just let the chest fall. Press into the floor with the feet. Just keep pressing into the floor with the feet. And you can just breathe here, or you can go down a level with a block. So with a block, you've got all these different levels, and you may even get to a point where you can have the fingers on the floor and even then go into a slight flexion forward fold with the back. But if you're higher up, then just keep moving the shoulders back and the chest forward, keep the neck nice and long, and keep pressing with the feet, because this is just stabilizing and lengthening all the muscles of the legs. And then to come up, you have to kind of come up in stages. And every time you take the hands off the floor, press with the feet so that you're stable. Press with the feet, come up a level. Press with the feet, come up a level. And then gently come up. Just close your eyes. That's quite nice and strong on the legs. And then come to the front. Bring your block with you. And we'll go to the other side. So let's have the block there for now. We started with our lunge. So I had the left, this time I'm going to have the left foot on the left block and the left buttock on the chair, the right buttock kind of falling off, holding onto the chair with the left hand, sliding the right foot back, pressing the toes into the floor, taking it back as far as you can, but you don't have to straighten it, because often when you straighten it, the lower back will flip up and you kind of just arching the lower back. We want to lengthen the front rather than shorten the back. So, keeping your knee a little bit bent, you're going to press that left foot down, down and forward energetically, right foot pressing down and back, so I'm making space between the feet. I'm also lengthening the tailbone down into the chair and drawing the lower abdomen back so that the upper back is nice and open. I can take the arms up, both arms if you're stable, or maybe just one arm if you want to hold on to the chair. And dropping the shoulders is really nice, quite intense stretch. Couple of breaths here, make sure the breath is full and deep. And then we can even stretch towards the back wall here, opening up the side body again. Keeping the neck nice and relaxed. Keep pressing with the feet. Stretch up. And then release the hand. And then just release the knee down towards the floor. Come onto the toes and slide the foot forward. And then place both feet back on the block and both buttocks back onto the chair, at the front of the chair, front edge. And then we'll take that little twist again, so the right hand comes to the chair and the left hand comes behind you. You can take hold of the chair if you want, but careful you're not just compromising the shoulder blade. You want to try and get that twist to come from the rib cage. Looking back to the back wall, pulling the belly in, allowing the rib cage to twist that little bit more. Now you've opened so much. Coming back to centre. And then let's open up for our wide leg forward fold. So the corner of the chair is in between the thighs, the knees pointing out in opposite directions, and the feet underneath the knees. And again, having the block, the taller block in between these blocks, and tilting the tailbone so that the tailbone's moving back and the chest is moving forward, and then seeing how far you want to go with it. So you might just be quite high up, just having a really good stretch. The main thing is pressing the feet into the floor. So these thighs are really active. And then maybe if you take the block, you can roll the shoulders back, keep the neck long, and you may, with time, with really deep breath, real full deep breath, especially the exhalation, pressing the feet into the floor, the thighs become stronger and enable you to release a little bit, going down to different levels, maybe taking the hands to the floor and having a nice fold down. But wherever you are, you're breathing deeply and nourishing and pressing the feet into the floor. So the legs are working extremely strongly. And then when you come up, you need to press the feet into the floor, each level up, so that you don't just kind of fall off the chair and face plant on the floor. Press the feet into the floor, come up. Press the feet into the floor, come up. And then just roll the shoulders back and down, close the eyes. Take a deep breath. Quite a workout. So now we're going to practice our chair pose. So we're on a chair, but chair pose is kind of an agonizing, difficult pose, but it's very good at strengthening the thighs, and we get to do it in a more gentle way. So we're going to move the blocks out of the way for this so that our feet are on the floor, so it's much more stable in case we're wobbling around. As your legs gain strength after, operations or anything like that, you'll find that there's a little bit of instability, which is fine. You're just finding the muscles again. So the feet are under the knees, and we're going to just tilt forward a little bit, and we're going to try and sort of swim the arms forward and see if we can take the weight onto the feet and just lift the bottom off the chair. Just a little bit, and then take the hands back, find the chair again, and sit back. So that was the first one. We'll do about 4 more, and you'll find your way as you go, and you'll find your strength as you go. Just leaning forward until you can take the weight onto the legs, maybe take the hands up higher, and then when you come down, don't forget to feel for the chair, because it would be awful to just fall on your bottom. Let's do it again. You can do it with hands on the hips if you feel like you could actually just transfer the weight onto your feet. And you can stay quite low if you want to. You can even have the hands on the chest in prayer position. Taking them up is really intense. And we try and lengthen the spine as much as we can. And keep the knees over the feet as much as you can. You can even lift your toes up off the floor. And then take the hands back. Lowering down, even lowering down and slowly coming up, that's really working the thighs. And let's just do one more. So sweeping up gently, finding your weight. And then gently, slowly, equally on right and left sides, coming back onto the chair. Woof. And let's come back to the front for our last posture. Taking some deep breaths. I'm just going to stretch out the back of the thighs a little bit. So we're going to bring the left foot and just cross just above the outer ankle over the knee. Keep the foot flexed. Now, depending on your knee, you don't want to rotate the knee too much. It depends what's going on with it. Your knee might be quite high up towards your chest, and that's fine. That might be where you are. Just keep the toes pulling back to the knee, so you're stretching more the back of the thigh rather than trying to twist the knee more than it wants to go. And if that feels okay for you, keeping the toes pulling back towards the knee, you may find space to not press the knee down, but just to move your chest forward and down, making some space there. Maybe just hanging down over, or just maybe just nurturing the knee and the foot with the hands as you drop down. Or you may be just staying much higher with a few deep breaths. Now then replace that foot onto the block. And then change sides. And don't expect the same thing from both sides, especially if you've had one problem in one side of the body. Flexing the foot, pulling the toes back towards the knee. And then just seeing as you sit with the breath, all your awareness into the opening of the outer hip. Maybe space comes, but definitely not forcing the knee down. The knee opens when the hip opens. So it's all about opening the hip, not pressing the knee down. And keeping the foot flexed helps that alignment of the knee and the foot so that the knee doesn't rotate more than it is supposed to. Just feeling your way. And the more you focus on the breath with your yoga, the less likely you are to actually damage yourself, because your breath will tell you when you've reached your limits, when you can no longer exhale a long, deep exhalation, then you've gone too far. If you're holding your breath and kind of grimacing, that's a good sign too. So bringing that foot down and then getting ready for just a little guided relaxation. So I suggest moving your chair back towards the wall so that you can have the back of your head supported so that you can rest that little bit more. So sitting on the back of the chair, you may need extra blocks. You're going to bring your bottom right to the back of the chair now and just really feel the shoulder blades and the back of the head touching the wall, and have the hands again however you want. You can take chin mudra on the thighs. When I sit in a chair, I feel like I want to do that, the nice Buddhist meditation posture where the thumbs are together and one palm is flat on the other, palms turned up. So start with the breath and relax the breath, breathing in fully and deeply, and then exhaling as slowly as you can. And then bring the awareness down to the toes. And just becoming aware of the toes, all 10 toes, and relaxing them completely. And the soles of the feet, and the arches of the feet, and the heels, and the tops of the feet. Relax completely. And then the inner ankles and the outer ankles. And the shins and calves, the knees and the thighs. Fronts of the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, and the backs of the thighs, relaxing completely. Relaxing the whole of the pelvis. Relaxing the abdomen and all the abdominal organs. Relaxing the sacrum and the lower back, the waist, the belly. And then travelling up the sides of the body, the rib cage, the diaphragm, the lungs and the heart. Relax the heart completely. Relax the chest and the throat, and the collarbones and the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And relax the arms and the elbows and the wrists. Relax the backs of the hands, the palms of the hands. And relax the neck and the throat and the jaw and the tongue and the lips, the cheeks, the nose, the eyes and the eyebrows. Relax the temples and the forehead, sides of the head, back of the head, top of the head. Relax the whole body. The whole body is completely relaxed. The breath is calm and deep. The mind just following the breath, like it's watching waves coming in and out of the shore. Deep sense of peace washing over the whole body. If there are any areas of the body that are particularly stressed or tense or need that extra bit of relaxation, you can just mentally spread that to those specific zones now, with your mind, with your awareness, with your breath. And then gently bringing your awareness back onto your breath and starting to deepen the inhalation. So beginning to take in more energy as you breathe in. Breathing in fully and deeply, breathing out fully and deeply, becoming aware of the body. Maybe starting to move the face, raise the eyebrows, move the jaw. Move the shoulders, start to move your position, use the wall to stretch against. And a few deep sighing breaths to wake you up. Maybe moving the feet, moving the wrists, shoulders and the hips and the spine. And then you're all set to carry on with your life. Thank you.